dragging me on your back the whole game too, you punk.
Yeah, but you gon' feel it, Cooley. I'm telling you, you gon' feel it.
I told you keep that camera running, you might miss something.
We're gonna be in your face and letting you know the real talk.
This is the NFL, which stands for not for long.
And welcome to the Not For Long Pro Football Show. Noah Groninger, Clint Schweitzer. Here we are after a miraculous Chiefs comeback
Jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping. We've had one against the Chargers, the Panthers, and now the most improbable, this Broncos game. What are your thoughts?
Well, one of the craziest NFL games probably of the season so far. The Kansas City Chiefs really went into this game, undermanned with injuries all over the place.
D4, Jeremy Maclin.
You got Marcus Peters back still with that hip pointer, had to be playing in a lot of pain. And this was a physical football game, as physical as you'll see in the NFL all year. And the Chiefs jump out to this 9-0 lead. Denver creeps back in it. Denver makes some big plays through the passing game. Trevor Siemian, you had to be impressed with what he did to the Chiefs secondary. And Phillip Gaines, Chiefs cornerback, was lost this entire game. And
At least he apologized on Twitter afterwards, saying, "I'm sorry, Chiefs fans. I'm going to get back to work. It won't happen again." So that was good to see.
Well, thank goodness he was absolutely horrendous, because if he had just been bad, he would have
been in a position to make that tackle.
Yeah, exactly. And he would have disallowed that touchdown. The Denver Broncos, guys, and the Chiefs are very similar teams to me. Clearly how they want to win. The Chiefs offense was just absolutely inept for most of this entire game. 50 yards at halftime. You got a guy in Tyreek Hill, I think, is the only weapon the Chiefs really can count on with Jeremy Maclin out as far as the receiver goes.
Look at Kelsey, he had like 8 catches for 100 yards or whatever, but he had 3 big drops, and he does that a lot. Like, he just doesn't catch the football cleanly with his hands. He's always bobbling it, trying to cradle it in his body, and I just don't put him up there as a baby Gronk or anything. No.
You can't do it. Rob Gronkowski, of course, is hurt again for New England. We're going to talk about what that means with our correspondent, our segment, Sean Smeck Unfiltered, with our video correspondent, Sean Salisbury, is going to be coming up to talk about what that injury means for the rest of the Patriots season.
And the rest of the AFC.
The rest of the AFC, because the Chiefs, the Raiders, guys, they're right there. And what's this going to mean? The Chiefs, with that win over Denver, puts them at 8-3. And I said after we lost to the Bucs, I go, you know what? If they go on the road and beat Denver, that's going to rectify that loss a bit. And maybe it's happened. The Raiders, of course, pulled another one off. The Raiders and the Chiefs are very similar, that they win every game and in crazy fashion. Is the Raiders' luck going to finally run out? Obviously, they play the Bills this Sunday. Don't see it happening there. Where is this taking? Because all of a sudden, America's falling in love with this Raiders team, a team that hasn't been even really on the radar for the last 14 years in the National Football League. All of a sudden, here they are. They got an MVP candidate in Derek Carr. Where does this AFC West sit for you right now? And is Denver even out of it at 7-4?
I don't think Denver's out of it. I mean, you look at the Oakland Raiders and this team, and everyone says, like, okay, you got this fancy offense. That's nice. You're kind of racking up some miraculous wins here and there. Your offense is performing well, but you can't count on this defense, especially come playoff time. That's when you really need the defense to show up, and you just can't count on it, although Aldon Smith could be getting reinstated for them.
That's
fabulous
insane.
Outside linebacker, and that could help them. They've already got good players there with Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin coming off the edge. So Aldon Smith's just going to add another weapon there, but I don't see it. I don't see this defense sustaining, becoming something that can sustain them through the playoffs, and so I don't think the Raiders are for real.
Well, I wrote an article for our website, Great American Sports Network, this week, asking if it's time to believe in the Kansas City Chiefs because of all they've done in the last 4 seasons of what Andy Reid's done here, creating this culture of winning in Kansas City, but yet people don't believe. Maybe it's because of past failures, because of past playoff disasters, and that's very understandable. But the same city embraced the Kansas City Royals, who won games this very same way. Yeah. They were not a flashy team. The Kansas City Royals
didn't beat people 8-0 or anything.
Absolutely
They're
not.
Coming back from 3 runs down in the bottom of the 9th and just crazy.
Balls landing in players' gloves as they look up and wonder how the heck it happened. The city embraced that. But this Chiefs team, we were maybe, and you and I are both on the same boat. You're scared to let a crazy ex-girlfriend back in your life because you're scared she's going to rip your heart out again. That's what I think a lot of people feel about this Chiefs team. And under Andy Reid, a lot of wins, a lot of regular season moments. Started 9-0 in 2013. Got to the playoffs 3 out of 4 years. Hopefully, if this keeps up, you think this Chiefs team is going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
But yet, it hasn't happened at the highest level yet. So you're still going to have those doubts. And that's what my article's about. Check it out on GreatAmericanSportsNetwork.com.
I mean, yeah, you talk about us not believing in the game. There were so many opportunities, so many different places in that game. We said 0%. There's just no way this can happen. This game is over. And we kept saying that and kept saying that. And then they kept getting more opportunities and more opportunities because they kept proving us wrong. And they believe in themselves. Justin Houston believes in Alex Smith. They talk about Eric Berry being the heartbeat of that football team. And that's something we may overlook because we talk about him not being the kind of player we thought he should be or think he should be as drafted top 5,
right.
number 5 overall. We thought he should be an Ed Reed or a Troy Polamalu, and he's just not lived up to that. He makes some plays here and there, but he's the heartbeat of that football team, the soul. He gets that secondary, and the entire team rallied around him believing, and they believe in Alex Smith. And although the fans and Clinton and I don't believe at times, they believe. And as long as they believe and they're doing it, maybe we should get on board and we should believe.
Yeah, because at some point in your life, you're going to have your faith rewarded. Maybe Chiefs fans, maybe that time's now. It's wide open. You got Rob Gronkowski hurt.
Yeah.
The Patriots had a struggle to beat the Jets this past week. The Raiders are 9-2, but
We've already
doing
beat
it
the
with smoke
Raiders.
and mirrors. We've already
Yeah.
beaten the Raiders in a head-to-head matchup coming up on Thursday.
Held that
Night Football.
fabulous offense to 10 points. I mean, come on.
26-10
Yeah.
out there in Oakland. So before we get into more of that, we are going to go ahead and bring on our video correspondent, Sean Salisbury. Sean, hope you had a fabulous Thanksgiving, man. Get into a little bit more with us here about this Rob Gronkowski injury and let us know what this is going to do for the rest of the league.
All right, guys, thanks. Let's talk Rob Gronkowski and what this means. His season-ending back surgery, which is, I think, his third over his career, counting college, with the disc and the herniated disc and how serious that is. So let's hope and wish him well that his career continues. He's going to be okay. That's number one. But let's talk about the effect on the field. The best mismatch in the league is Rob Gronkowski on anybody. If you go with a nickel or dime small corner, he's too physical. And we've seen that happen. If you go with a bigger linebacker, a safety type, he's too fast. So the mismatches you can create with a guy who can line up at wide receiver, slot, run in motion, have been through the roof for Josh McDaniel, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, and the issues he poses for defenses. Now, get Martellus Bennett, genius by the Patriots, and obviously they're going to need that, so he'll see the ball more. But no team in this league overcomes next man up or operates it better than the Patriots do. But this is a loss. You don't just take your best player, not named Tom Brady, off your team and say, no big deal, we'll be fine. Well, I still think the Patriots are the favorite in the AFC and maybe the favorite in the NFL, and that includes the Cowboys because of the guy who's throwing the football and the guy who's coaching that team. But this is a loss because now if you're a defense, you say, okay, it's like when you take the best player and who's going to hit third in the lineup in the baseball lineup? Who's going to hit cleanup? Well, you just lost your third hitter because Brady's your cleanup hitter. So now what? You can't just bring some guy off the street or some guy off the roster that's going to perform like Rob Gronkowski. So while the production on the field, and his production statistically comes out to Gronkowski's, it's like a 7 points a game that they're losing. And that's a lot when you say most games are decided by 7 points or less in the NFL. But they will overcome this. I still think that they're going to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs of the Patriots. And I still believe that Rob Gronkowski, he'll come back, I believe, but that Tom Brady will find another guy to make a star. This is a big loss for the Patriots, but it's going to challenge Brady, the defense, and Josh McDaniel even more than it ever has. But the Patriots are still the favorite in the AFC, and Tom Brady will find a way. Best of luck to Rob Gronkowski, but I think don't feel sorry for the Patriots. They'll find a way. Back to you guys. Have a great weekend.
Can't thank you enough, Sean, for being on the show. I mean, that is a huge loss for the Patriots. They lose Rob Gronkowski. Could be for the season. He might be back AFC Championship game, Super Bowl around that time, but how effective will he be? But you're right, that next man up, especially with they have Martellus Bennett, who has been nicked up. He might not be back this week, but he will be back soon. So next man up for them, whether it's Troy Brown going to corner or losing a running back and just going with the James Whites of the world or Danny Woodheads back when they had him, they step up. And Bill Belichick's the best at it. Next man up, they believe in it. They trade away great players. Next man up comes in, and he's a star for them. They get it done, so that's huge for them.
Well, what about this playoff picture? We talked about Denver. Are they out of it for the division? Right now, they're out of it for the playoffs.
They're out right now. Let's start it now. Come on, let's go.
Are they going to miss the playoffs?
I want to play the Dolphins.
It's right there.
At the end of the day, I think they do get in. The Dolphins fall. I don't see them as being they barely beat the 49ers. They had to stop Colin Kaepernick at the 2-yard line. Otherwise, they would have lost to a 1-9 team.
Colin
That's
Kaepernick.
not good. Yeah, we won't talk about that. But, I mean, the Dolphins will fall off. I think the Broncos are in, and that's scary for the Chiefs. I'd much rather face the Dolphins, and hopefully the Ravens can hold on to this thing and get in, although Miami and Baltimore play this weekend. So hopefully the Giants can beat the Steelers this weekend. That's kind of what we're looking at as Chiefs fans. We want the Giants to beat beats the Steelers, Buffalo to beat Oakland, the Rams to beat New England, Jacksonville to beat Denver, and Miami over Baltimore for now.
Wait, did you say Rams over New England? Yeah, let's
that's
just
going to
cheer
happen.
for that. I can't wait.
Gronkowski's out. They have no shot.
You talk about the Giants and playing the Steelers this weekend,
Yeah.
and it's big for them because they're the only team that has a win over the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys are just white hot. They're in fuego. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. Which one's the Rookie of the Year in the NFL? Heck, I can
Or
pick one right
MVP.
now. MVP of the league. Derek Carr's in there. Tom Brady's still in there. But the Dallas Cowboys, is this a team that you're now believing in as well? Because we saw they did lose to the Giants. The Giants are kind of a team right there lingering. And, of course, you got the Seahawks, who had their problems
Lost to the Bucs
against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
But at 5 points, so yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think last week I did say the Seattle Seahawks will beat the Cowboys come playoff time, but after that Bucs loss, they shake you. And Earl Thomas wasn't in that game; they'll get him back. And if the Seahawks are at full strength, I don't think the Cowboys can match up with the Seahawks. I think teams that give the Seahawks problems are defensive lines that can get after them. The Bucs can do that. The Cowboys can't do that. They don't have a good defense. It's going to be tough for Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott going up against the Michael Bennett's, Cam Chancellor's, Richard Sherman's.
When you haven't been there.
Exactly.
When you've never
They
been
have
there
the
before, it is
experience,
difficult.
The Super Bowl, so they've been to 2, the Seahawks have. So I think it'll run out. That rookie luck will run out. That Cowboys train that looks unstoppable right now will run out against the Seattle Seahawks once playoff time rolls around.
We got 5 weeks to go. Right now, disappointments. What teams have disappointed you through this many weeks? Because as you look around, there's a lot of teams that are just so similar. To me,
Yeah.
you look at a lot of the divisions. The Ravens, the Steelers are just very similar to me. You look around the South, the Colts, the Texans, the Titans are all very similar to me. Disappointments, though.
I'd probably have to go with the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they're in the Super Bowl. Yes, they lost Josh Norman, but they got back Kelvin Benjamin. You thought that offense was going to take off. The defense was going to fall a tiny bit, but still be really productive for them. Kind of their leader on the defensive side of the ball. But with Kelvin Benjamin back, you expect big things. And
Packers.
They've fallen on their face. The Packers, yeah, they did get a big win last week, but they're still struggling. You don't know if that offense is going to get back on track.
Exactly.
And that defense is really struggling, although they did have a better game last week. So definitely the Packers and the Panthers, and the Eagles. I mean, they started off hot. You look like Carson Wentz is going to be Rookie of the Year, maybe MVP. And the Browns, they're kind of a disappointment for me. They're 0-12. The coach is crying during a press conference. You just don't want to see.
That's so Browns.
You don't want to see a grown man cry, but the Browns, they'll do that to you. They'll make grown men cry.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of those as far as disappointments, man. I tell you, this year has been incredible. We're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl with our correspondent, Sean Salisbury, here on the Not For Long Show. Tweet us at GASN Sports if you have any questions, concerns, any questions for Sean Salisbury, for us. We love interacting with you guys,
yes.
And we live for it, man. So we're on there. If you ever have a comment, concern, love to hear them. Criticism of us. Hey,
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that's okay. That's what you're here for.
I know we're nostalgic people, but crazier primetime Chiefs game. Chiefs Broncos from Sunday night or Chiefs Broncos Monday night, 94 in Denver and Mile High. Which Mile High miracle do you...
Crazier, I would have to say...
This one.
Crazier, I'd have to say this.
And
we have
more
Joe Montana.
improbable.
That wasn't crazy. Yeah, it was more improbable.
Yeah. All
Better-
the 94 team had to do was march down like 80 yards down the field and score a touchdown with 10 seconds to go. No big deal.
Yeah.
With Joe
Throwing the
Montana
ball
at the
to
helm, it's
Tracy
no big
Green.
deal. Yeah, throwing the ball to the likes of
That is
Tracy
improbable, him catching that pass. Joe
That's
Montana
true.
trusting in him. But with Joe Montana, you got to believe. And Marty Schottenheimer on the sideline, you have to believe. And that was a great moment, a greater moment. I think just kind of we were different fans back then as well.
True.
So it meant more. We were more into it. And kind of, we believed more back then. This whole game, I was just, no, I'm not
It's
believing. I'm not
over.
believing,
Can't get the
it's
2-point
over.
conversion even if we score. But he didn't score because I don't think Tyreek Hill was in. But hey,
Tyreek Hill was in the worst 2-point conversion call ever. Demetrius Harris catches the
that
ball.
field goal is missed. Darn it, it's over.
Doink, but it's in. A 4th and 10. Alex Smith actually completes the pass on 4th and 10. No name defensive line showing up.
Hey,
It's
and the NFL
unbelievable.
rankings, by the way, the ratings that everyone said were down. No, the product's so bad, and we don't. It's back. The NFL's had some
These
compelling
past 2
storylines.
weeks are unbelievable.
Thank you. And the ratings are
Right
back.
in the nick of time. We've got crazy playoff pictures. It's done. NFL is back. No more talk of it being down. The ratings down. NFL's here to stay.
Good. Yeah.